If you want the new job, start appreciating the shit going on in your current job. If you want the new car, start appreciating everything about your current car, or start finding shit to appreciate about your current car. You want the new home, start finding things to appreciate about where you currently live. You want the new boyfriend, you want a husband. Start finding things to appreciate about men, about relationships, your relationship with yourself, your relationship with God, the angels, the universe, whatever. Start finding shit to appreciate about romance, love, relationships. This advice of being happy now, focusing on feeling good now, focusing on gratitude now, I think that advice is some of the most basic manifestation advice out there. And it's one of those things that just really works. It just really works. It's true. And in today's episode, I'm breaking down why this is true. Why focusing on the things that you appreciate, even when you're in the unwanted experience, focusing on the things that you appreciate is going to support you in manifesting what you actually want quicker, and it's going to start priming your mindset. So that way, when you get the husband, when you get the relationship, when you get the car, when you get the home, when you get the job, your mind will be prepared to actually enjoy it. Your mindset, your beliefs, your focus, it's all habits. It's just habits that you've practiced. You have a habit of focus. And if you're unsatisfied in your current experience, you're unsatisfied in your job, you're unsatisfied with your car, you're unsatisfied with your home, you're unsatisfied with your bank account, you've got a habit of focus where you're looking for things that make you feel unsatisfied. You're focusing on things that make you feel unsatisfied. If you do not change that pattern, if you do not change that pattern of thinking, you could wake up in Disneyland tomorrow and you would still find something to be unsatisfied with. And that's all that I have for this intro. I absolutely love this episode. I don't remember if I say it inside of the episode, so I'm going to put it out there now. I am currently open for personal one-off sessions, so if you would like to book with me, head to the link in the show notes or the description if you're watching on YouTube and book a session. Okay, love you. Enjoy this episode. Right now, you're listening to Naked and Noisy, Manifestation Tools for the Professional Woman. I'm Natalie Hughes, your host and your coach in this series. In each episode, I'm giving you the tools that you need to create the life you've always dreamed of without the soul-crushing sacrifice that you were taught to endure. Whether you're ready to be treated like the industry leader that you are, you're ready to be drunk in love with your soulmate, or you're ready to wake up to a closet full of Jimmy Choo every morning, this is the podcast for you. It's not that in the law of attraction, if you're listening to like Abraham Hicks, Esther Hicks, right? It's not that what they're telling you is that you have to be happy right here and right now, be happy where you are, because they want you to suffer. No, let me say that again. Sorry, I need to close this. There's a browser open and it's taking my attention away. Let me refocus. They don't want you to look at the situation you're in, whether it's a relationship, a workplace, your financial situation, the home that you live in, the car that you drive, the money in your bank account. They don't want you to look at those situations and be like, I don't have the money that I like. I don't have the money that I would like to have. I'm so happy. I love not having money. They don't want you to get into your beat up ass car and go, I love having this beat up ass car. It is so amazing to have this beat up ass car. One of the greatest things that has ever happened to me is having this beat up ass car. They're not telling you that you should go into your job and go, I love experiencing microaggressions in the workplace. What would I be doing if I did not get to experience racism and sexism and ignorance and bigotry in my job? I'm so happy. I am so happy that I get to get my fix of oppression in my workplace. I love it here. It's so nice to be here, right? That's not what they're saying. And it sounds like that's what they're saying. And when people misinterpret what they're saying, it can lead to a lot of things that people will label as toxic positivity. I can't be happy right now. I can't be positive right now. There's all of this shit going on in the world. There's all of this shit going on in my business. There's all of this shit going on in my money and finances. And you're telling me to be happy? What's that kind of like meme that's out there on the internet? I'm living a terrible life and you're laughing. You're laughing and I'm living a terrible life. Like, it doesn't make sense. So I'm going to break that down and I'm actually going to explain to you exactly what they mean in a better way. But first I have to close this door because it's almost 5 o'clock in the morning and my mother is sleeping. Hold on. What they're telling you, whether it's Abraham Hicks, Esther Hicks, law of attraction coach, mindset coach, who the fuck ever, what they're telling you when they're telling you to be happy now, or when they're telling you to give yourself that good feeling now, when they're telling you to be grateful where you are, when they're telling you to enjoy your life, even when you're in the unsatisfactory circumstance, the reason why they're telling you this is because your mindset is going to go with you. Your mindset, your habits, your patterns of thinking, your perception is going to go with you. And now I'm going to give an example and then I'm going to expand on it after I give you the example. When I first started my YouTube channel, in the fall of 2018, I was making videos, right? And I was doing like oracle readings and I was doing pick a card readings. And sometimes I would post a reading and then, you know, it only got like 3 views. And I'm like, oh, like it's not getting that many views. And that was one of the first times that I actually remember like coaching myself in a way. Like that was the first time I had my own mindset shift, and it's 4:44 a.m., which is very relevant for me for 1,000,001 different reasons that we can't get into now. So let's focus. So the mindset shift that I had was, well, I posted this video. There's 3 different piles. As long as it gets 3 views, then I'm going to assume that all 3 people who were supposed to hear the message heard the message. And I'm going to let it go. My goal is to get 3 views every single video. So I was getting 3 views every single video. And I'm like, my people are finding it. My people are listening. My people are hearing it. All of that good stuff, right? And that's actually, I'm like making a mental note to myself. Write that down. You need to apply that to something that you're moving through right now. That's good. Anyway, so I have that mindset shift. And then my YouTube started growing and expanding and the views were increasing and my subscribers were increasing. So I remember I got to 1,000 subscribers, which is like, oh my God, yay, I got to 1,000 subscribers. Did you know that a majority of people, I don't remember the exact percentage, but a majority of people who start YouTube channels do not get over 1,000 subscribers, which is like crazy because I've done it twice now. So that's kind of nice. That makes me feel good. Anyway, let's refocus. So my subscriber count is going up. I remember I got 1,000 subscribers and I didn't feel satisfied. And I was like, well, maybe when I get 2,000 subscribers, then I'll feel satisfied. And so I got 2,000 subscribers and I still didn't feel satisfied. I didn't feel good. There was a feeling that I couldn't name because at the time in 2019, the end of 2018, the beginning of 2019, I could not identify my feelings and my emotions at that time. So I didn't know what it was, but I knew that I didn't feel good. When I looked at my subscriber count, I didn't feel good enough. I didn't feel changed. I didn't feel significant. I didn't feel important. I didn't feel good enough. So I was like, okay, well, first it was maybe I'll get to 2,000 and then I'll feel better. And then it was maybe I'll get to 6,000 subscribers and then I'll feel better. And then I got 6,000 subscribers and I had built this community of women who loved my offers and, people are buying from me and I'm making money and I'd rather be doing this work than in college. So I left college and like that was great, but I still didn't feel that feeling of good enough. And so then I thought, okay, well, maybe when I get 10,000 subscribers, I'll feel good enough. So I got 10,000 subscribers and then I still didn't feel good enough. And then 10,000 turned into like 18,000 and then 18,000 turned into like 22,000. And then I still wasn't feeling good enough. And not only was I not feeling good enough, no matter how high the numbers of subscribers got, I wasn't feeling good enough. And, I was wanting to pivot my work. I was wanting to talk more about astrology. I was wanting to do more coaching. I didn't want to just do tarot readings. I didn't want to offer tarot readings at all. And when I would post an astrology video, it would only get 1,000 views, which is very funny because my videos today, if I was posting videos and each video was getting 1,000 views, I'd be like, we're doing pretty good. I saw one of my podcast episodes, it had gotten like 212 views when I last saw that. And I don't really look at the numbers now. So when I saw that, I was like pleasantly surprised. I was like, oh my God, like, look at this. That's so crazy. That's so great. Like people are finding me. I'm growing and expanding. So I'm having an experience now where 212 views to me is, I could assume 212 people. Why not? Let's hold a perception that's in our favor. It could be one person watching it 200 times. I really don't give a shit. If I see 212 views, I'm going to give myself permission to assume that that's 212 people who are watching my shit. Amen? So I now live a life where I can get 212 views on a video. And I'm like, wow, like my people are finding me. This is so great. This is the most that a podcast episode of mine has ever been viewed, downloaded, listened to, whatever, ever. Like, this is such a huge accomplishment. In the fall of 2019, when I was posting astrology videos, I remember I had done one video talking about like a new moon in Virgo, and I had done another video where I was doing my makeup and talking about astrological transits, and that shit was just so fucking cool. And I forgive myself for deleting that YouTube channel, but I'm like, boo, like I hate that that's gone. You know what I mean? Like I forgive myself and I also hate that it's gone. Complexity of emotions. We can feel multiple things at the same time. So I was posting those videos and they were getting like 1,000 views. That was like my minimum. If I posted anything, it probably got 1,000 views. Very easy for me. My highest was probably like 44,000 views. So I'm getting between 1,000 and 44,000 views every single video, everything that I put out. And now I can look at that and I can go, that's amazing. But back then in 2019, it didn't feel like it was enough. Of course it didn't feel like it was enough. I was terrified that I wouldn't be able to support myself. I was terrified that I wouldn't be able to build this business. And hold on, I'm going to make this microphone a little bit more sensitive because I'm kind of like whispering a little bit and I want to make sure that you can hear me. So you might want to turn your headphones down or something. Hold on. Okay, let's see. Is that better? That's more sensitive. Okay. Yeah, that's better. So anyway, hopefully it's not way too freaking loud, but we'll hope for the best and let God's grace do the fucking rest. So It felt like it wasn't good enough. It felt like it wasn't enough. It felt like nothing that I was doing was enough. I was afraid that things wouldn't be enough. And I just did not feel good enough. So in that experience, no matter how many goals I reached, nothing made me feel better. Nothing on the external fixed the internal. What does Beyonce say in that song? Pretty hurts. It's the soul that needs the surgery. Nothing in the external was going to fix what was going on internally, because me not feeling good enough was not about the subscriber count. It was about my mindset. It was about my self-perception. It was about the stories I was telling myself about who I was, what I got to have, what I was worthy of. It was about my identity. It was about my beliefs. It was my thoughts that were causing me to feel unsatisfied and not good enough when I was looking at my subscriber count or just thinking about myself in general. It was my thoughts that were creating those feelings. So when they're telling you, feel good, excuse me, oh my God, I burped. Excuse me. When they're telling you, feel good now, what they're saying is prime your mindset, prime your internal experience to one where you can enjoy your life, to one where you experience gratitude and appreciation. Start priming your mind right here and right now, because not only is your happiness and your joy going to attract miracles, great, wonderful experiences to you, but having that mindset and feeling good enough now, feeling good enough where you are, when you get your manifestation, when the Mercedes is in the driveway, when you're reaching your financial goals, when you're making your sales goals, when you've got the career that you desire, when you're seeing all of the clients that you want, when your desires come in, you're going to actually be able to enjoy them. This is almost kind of, I would say energetically, we're talking about the same principles that we discussed in the whole "you've got to love yourself to receive love from other people" episode. It's kind of a similar thing. We're having a similar discussion. So your mindset is going to go with you. And a lot of people don't understand this. Why? Because we're living in a very hyper masculine society, meaning we're living in a place where a majority of people are very hyper masculine. Hyper masculine doesn't understand feelings. Hyper masculine doesn't understand emotions. Hyper masculine doesn't focus on well-being. So in a hyper-masculine society, in a hyper-masculine workplace, they're going to tell you to keep going and keep working. What is a sick day? They're going to tell you to keep showing up, keep grinding, keep working hard. If you want to reach your goals, take physical action, or else you can't expect things to go your way, right? That's a very hyper-masculine approach to life and to your goals. And it's a really great way to get yourself to burnout, because your energy is renewable, but it's going to run out. You have to be able to rest. You have to do things that are going to rejuvenate you. You have to do things that are going to replenish you. So it's not a sustainable way of being to show up in that hyper masculine way of you've got to work really, really hard to reach all of your goals. And so living in that hyper masculine way, when you're living in that hypermasculine way, when you're teaching and thinking from that hypermasculine space, you're not asking yourself questions about your well-being. You're not asking yourself questions about what would feed your soul. Your soul is an intangible thing. Your soul is a feminine thing. When you're showing up in a hypermasculine way, you're not asking a question about fulfillment. And the ironic thing about it is, it's almost like a catch-22, I think. I didn't read the book in high school. I understood the gist. I spark noted, you know. And I think the catch-22 is that all of that work that you're working towards in that hyper masculine way, you're seeking out emotional fulfillment. You think you're going to be emotionally fulfilled when you have that promotion. You think you're going to be more emotionally fulfilled when you have that money in the bank. You think you're going to feel good enough when you have that partner. You think you're going to feel better about yourself and better about your life and more empowered when you have that apartment of your desire. You think you're going to feel more self-respect. You think you're going to feel like more of a boss. You think you're going to feel more safe and secure when you have that car or when you reach those financial goals. So you're taking all of this physical action, and yeah, sure, you're seeking out tangible results. The tangible result is the car. The tangible result is the money in the bank. The tangible result is the relationship, the ring on your finger. The tangible result is the position in your company. But it's not only about the tangible result. It's about how you think you're going to feel when you get the tangible result. So what Abraham Hicks is talking about all of the freaking time is that you care about how you feel, even if you don't consciously know that you care about how you feel. Every single one of your goals is emotionally charged for you in some way. So your soul, everybody is seeking emotional fulfillment. Your soul and your emotional fulfillment, all of that shit is intangible. What's that song from Beyonce? Pretty Hurts. What is your biggest aspiration in life? My biggest aspiration in life is to be happy. That's an intangible result. If I asked you, how will you create happiness in your life? Do you have an answer? If I asked you, how will you create emotional fulfillment in your life? Do you have an answer? These are intangible things. And so people who are living in a hyper masculine way, people who are more dominantly hyper masculine, meaning out of balance. There's nothing wrong with masculine energy, but hyper masculine means there's so much masculine and there's so little feminine. You're living a life out of balance. When you're living in that hyper masculine way, you're seeking out emotional fulfillment, but you're looking for love in all of the wrong places. Beyonce also has another song, and in that song she says, I'm looking for something that lives inside me. I'm taking physical action. I'm trying to reach these goals. I'm trying to do these things. I'm trying to get all of this shit in my physical reality. I am looking. I'm trying to achieve. I think it's going to be my next goal. I think it's me being in a relationship with this person. I think it's somewhere out there, meaning it's something outside of me that I have to achieve, that I have to acquire, that I have to obtain in order to feel the way that I want to feel, but it's not true. The truth is that it's inside of you. It's a feelings issue. It's an emotional desire that you have. And that's why you need a balance of masculine and feminine. And that's why you have to pay attention to your soul, because whether you're consciously aware of it or not, you're seeking out emotional fulfillment. Whether you're consciously aware of it or not, you're seeking out an emotionally fulfilled life. And in order to experience that emotional fulfillment, that feeling of being good enough, that feeling of being satisfied with yourself, that feeling of liking your work, that feeling of feeling like you're beautiful enough, that feeling of feeling like you're good enough, in order to achieve that, you're not going to get something in the physical reality. You're going to give yourself something in your internal reality. You're going to give yourself something in your mind. So I was chasing subscribers because I thought if I have more subscribers, then I'll feel good enough. And then when I wasn't chasing subscribers anymore, because I was like, fuck it, the subscribers, it's not making me feel better. When I wasn't chasing subscribers anymore, I was chasing money in my bank account. When I have money in my bank account, then I'll feel safe and secure. When I have clients coming in, then I'll feel confident in my business. When I have consistent money coming in, then I'll feel safe and secure and like I can relax and like I can trust myself and like I can trust myself as an entrepreneur and like I can trust my business. When I have this much money in the bank, then I'll feel safe enough to get my own place. When I have this much money in the bank, then I will feel safe enough to buy the clothes that I want to buy the Mocky Mock that I want to buy, all of that good stuff. And it's like the process of deliberate manifestation, deliberate co-creation is understanding that I want all of this shit because I want to feel a particular feeling. And so if I take myself, regardless of what's going on in my physical reality, if I can generate a particular feeling within myself, regardless of what's going on in my physical reality, then everything that I desire, everything that aligns with me feeling this feeling must manifest in my physical reality. In other words, let me explain this practically. If I'm thinking to myself, I want consistent clients coming into my business, that would make me feel safe and secure. I would be reaching my financial goals, and then I would be feeling good enough. I would be feeling proud. I would be feeling stable. I would be feeling respectable. I would be feeling a lot of self-respect. I would be expecting other people to respect me. Boom. Those are the feelings that I want to feel. That is what I believe, that having consistent sales and consistent clients coming in, that's what I believe that I'm going to receive if I had that experience. So what I do is I use journaling, meditating, EFT tapping, scripting, rampaging, breath work, what the fuck ever. I use everything that I have, all of the tools that I have available to myself. I use those tools to create an experience where I feel safe, to create an experience where I feel respected, to create an experience where I feel magnetizing, where I feel magnetic to my desires, where I feel magnetic to money, to create an experience where I feel wanted, to create an experience where I feel good enough. And as I feel good enough, and as I feel wanted, and as I feel respected, and as I feel all of those things that I wanted to feel from that place, I am emitting a vibration. I am emitting a frequency. I'm emitting a vibration and a frequency of safety and security and being wanted, being desirable, being magnetic, being safe and secure. I think I already said that, but it doesn't matter. I'm emitting that frequency. And as I emit that frequency, I become irresistible to thoughts, ideas, people, places, and things that affirm this feeling to me. That's manifestation. This is a masterclass that I didn't even plan on giving. You're welcome. If I can create an experience, which I can, if I can create an experience where I feel safe and secure financially, regardless of what's going on in my bank accounts, then the money must show up. If I can create an experience where I feel safe and secure with my money and my finances, then the money must show up. The money is a physical representation of how I feel. The money is a physical manifestation, a physical representation, a physical symbol of my vibration of financial safety and security. If I can feel successful, sought after, wanted, if I'll ask the question, how do you think that you're going to feel when you have a closet full of Mocky Mock? If I had a closet full of Mocky Mock, you wouldn't be able to tell me shit. I would feel like I had made it. I would feel like I was on the other side. I would feel like I had created success for myself. I would feel like everything was worth it. I would feel a sense of pride. I would feel even a little bit smug. I would feel even a little bit arrogant. Like I would just feel this energy. I would feel like maybe even like self-righteous in a way. I would feel this energy of like alignment with my inner being. I would feel this energy of self-trust. Like, yeah. And I knew that that business was going to pop the fuck off, actually. Yeah. And I told you bitches that I was going to be rich off of my ideas, off of my intellectual and energetic property. And I told you bitches that I was born to be wealthy. And I actually have been saying since I was a kid that I was going to be famous. And when I was in elementary school, I would sign when I was in elementary school, I would sign people's yearbooks and I would tell them, you keep that signature because it's going to be worth something someday. And if you went to elementary school with me, I hope you kept that fucking yearbook, bitch, because, yeah. You're welcome. What can I say except you're welcome that you got to be in my presence growing up and you got to acquire my signature. Are you kidding me? If somebody came out and they were like, I went to elementary school with Beyonce and I have her signature from when she was in the 2nd grade, yeah, you could sell that at auction. So you're all welcome. If I had a closet full of Mocky Mock, then I would feel like, yeah, bitch, I was right. And I knew that. And I knew that. And I knew who I was. And I knew what I was going to be. And I was right. That's how I would feel. I would feel like I was right. If I had a closet full of Mocky Mock, I would feel like I was right. I would feel elevated. I would feel elegant. I would feel like I was just creatively expressing myself. I would feel in my element, right? And so as I'm answering that question, first of all, I'm tapped into the vibe. Mocky Mock is irresistible to me right now. I am manifesting those shoes into my physical reality right here and right now. And if every single time I thought about Mocky Mock, I were to stop and answer that question again, how would I feel if I had Mocky Mock? What would that be like for me? If I were to stop and do that every single time that I thought about Mocky Mock, then yeah, I'd have those shoes quickly and easily. Or I'd have the shoes much more quickly and easily than I would if I wasn't doing that. Why? Because when I'm answering that question, I'm shifting my vibration. I'm thinking different thoughts. I'm feeling different feelings. I'm emitting a different frequency. And from that place, I'm attracting the physical thing that is a representation of that desire. So the more time that I spend, and I did not plan to ask that question. This shit is just off the dome. Is that the right way to use that phrase? It better be. If it's not, pretend it is. I've never asked myself that question in that particular way before. So I didn't know that I didn't know that the conversation was going to go here, and I'm grateful that it did. But I'm sitting here like, wow. Anyway, the point is, when I spend my time tapping into that energy of being right, I become a vibrational match and I attract the shoes of my desire. The thing about it is, what I was trying to say, like 2 sentences ago, is that I did not know that having Mocky Mock in my closet was going to make me feel right. I didn't know that that's what Mocky Mock was going to make me feel like. That's crazy. And I love doing this work because you get this extra energy of self-awareness. There are some people in that hyper-masculine way who subconsciously want to feel like they were right to start the business, want to feel like they were right to be successful. But they're not even acknowledging that that's how they want to feel. They're not even acknowledging that that's their desire. So what's happening? They're taking all of this physical action, working harder, grinding, doing all of this stuff, when really there's an easier, better feeling way. The easier, better feeling way is to right here and right now get tuned in, tapped in, turned on to the vibration of self-respect. Tuned in, tapped in, turned on to that vibration of, yeah, I was right. And I actually did know. I actually did know my entire life. Yeah, I actually have been a star since birth, actually. Actually, yes. I actually was very aware. I actually, if I went back in time and had a conversation with my younger self, she'd be like, well, this doesn't surprise me. This doesn't surprise me because I knew that that's who you were. I knew that that's what you were going to be. Like, yeah, actually. Yeah. When I tap into that vibration of self-respect, when I tap into that vibration of I was right, when I tap into that vibration of I did the thing, I created, I accomplished, I made it happen, I'm elegant, I'm classy, I am self-respecting. As I tap into that vibration, I attract ideas, I attract thoughts, I attract people, I attract experiences, I attract the mock emok shoes. That's what attraction is. Attracting the mock emok shoes, for this example, attracting the mock emok shoes, or attracting, I'll do a car, because the mock emok shoes, they're like $1,000. I mean, they're like $1,000. Let's do something a little bit different. Let's say that I want to have a Mercedes SUV, which I do. Mercedes SUV is a little bit more, let's say $100,000, even though I don't think it's $100,000. It's like, it doesn't matter. Just example's sake. So I want this Mercedes SUV. The Mercedes SUV is $100,000. Tapping into that vibration of how would I feel if I had the Mercedes SUV? If I had the Mercedes SUV, I would feel the same. I would feel the same way. I would feel the same way. Actually, hold on. I just really discovered something about myself, something that I was not aware of before we started recording here. If I had a Mercedes in my driveway right now, I would feel that same energy of just being right. I would feel this energy of being at peace. I would feel this energy of being aligned with my soul. I would feel this energy of living in my purpose, right? So as I'm exploring that vibe, I'm living in my purpose. I'm tapped into the vibration. What does it actually mean that I am now attracting the Mercedes SUV into my life? What does that actually mean? What does that actually look like? It means, as I sit here in this energy of self-respect, and I sit here in this energy of like self-righteousness is the best that I got for it. As I sit here in this energy of respecting myself and feeling right and trusting myself and trusting my business and trusting my soul and feeling satisfied and feeling prideful, I can attract an idea, a thought. What if I organized something like this? What if I created an offer like this? What if I sold a coaching package like this? What if I talked about my offer in this way? What if I switched this thing up on my landing page? What if I added something like this? What if I talked to my people about this idea and this concept? And when I get that idea to talk to my people about this idea and this concept, and I deliver it to them in this specific way, then the woman out there in the world who's going to buy my package for $2,000, the woman out there in the world who's going to buy my package for $30,000, whatever, the woman out there who is being guided one day at a time, one inspired action at a time into my life, because she's meant to be in my work. She's meant to be in my courses. She's meant to be in my coaching containers, whatever fucking offer it is that I have been inspired to put out there into the world. She is made to be inside of that. I receive that one idea. I share that one thing in that one way, and then she looks up XYZ thing online, the shit pops up onto her fucking YouTube For You page, what the hell ever. Some way, somehow, she finds me, and because I followed that inspired action to talk about that topic, to talk about that concept, to teach about that thing, and to speak in that particular way, because I received that idea, because I was a vibrational match to that idea, She is now in my world. One thing leads to another. She's just purchased from me. I've received the money that I needed. I am now significantly closer to my goal. And then in manifestation, as I'm spending my time in that energy of self-respect and self-trust, I'm not just attracting one woman, but I'm attracting another woman, and I'm attracting another woman, and I'm attracting another woman. And the Mirandas are just coming from all over the world, all over the globe. My women who I was made to support, who I was made to serve, are coming into my world. They're seeking me out. They're ready to grow. They're ready to expand. They're investing in my work. I'm reaching my financial goals as I tap into that experience every single day. As I tap into that experience more and more from moment to moment, I am attracting women from all over the world. And then they come together. One thing leads to another. They're buying all my shit because that's what they were born to do. I'm reaching my financial goals. Next thing you know, I'm at the Mercedes dealership saying, it's time to fucking go, and put a beautiful bow on it. Thank you. That's law of attraction. That's like working smarter and not harder. Hyper masculine shit is doing all of this exhausting work to try to compensate with your action for shit that you lack in your vibration. And now we're going to switch it to not a different topic, but a different way of looking at this. You want to be happy right here and right now. You want to be grateful right here and right now. You want to feel that self-respect right here and right now. Because let's say that you do some way, somehow get the Mercedes. Let's say that you do some way, somehow get the shoes, the Maki Mock shoes. If your vibration has not been cleaned up, if your vibration has not been shifted, you will take your mindset with you. It doesn't matter if you are in Dubai, on a yacht, in a thong, or you are living on the street. Your mindset is going to be with you wherever you go. So if you're having a life experience where it's like, this thing is wrong, and this thing is wrong, and this thing is wrong, and I went to the office and this person said this insulting thing to me, and this person said this insulting thing to me, and this negative thing happened, and this negative thing happened, and this negative thing happened, what are you training your mind to do? You're training your mind to focus on the shit that's not going right. You're training your mind to focus on the shit that's not going well. You're going to get whatever you ask for. You're going to get whatever you have come here for. And I'm not talking about like what your soul has come here for, but literally with your focus, whatever you focus on is going to grow and expand. The universe is neutral. The universe is not going, are you sure that you want that thing? Because that would be a really shitty thing to experience. Are you sure that you want more people to insult you today? That would be a really terrible thing to happen. I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't send that in. No. You're a big girl. You're a grown up. You're the fucking creator of your reality. Do what you do. Create what you create. You came here to have what you wanted, and you communicate to the universe. You communicate to this time-space reality. You communicate to God. You communicate what you want with the use of your focus. So when you're focusing on everything that's not going right, and you're focusing on everybody who's pissing you off, and you're focusing on everything that you don't have, the money that you don't have, the clients that you don't have, the sales that you don't have, when you're focusing on everything that you do not have, your reality is like, okay, more unwanted shit coming right up. I got your order. I'm cooking it up for you. Fuck it, I guess. You want more people to underestimate you? Got it. You want more people to come into your world and not pay you? Got it. You want more people to come into your world and disrespect you? I am right on that for you. Yes, ma'am. I'm not arguing with a girl who's pretty, sure. That's your reality. That's your experience. That's your life. And it's a lot of the reasons why so many people get to a certain position in their life. They make so much money. Oh, I don't want to get too heavy with this. So we'll just keep it general and I won't use examples, and you'll just have to trust me that I am speaking on real stuff that I just do not feel like bringing into the vibe here. I just really don't. It's not going to do that much for us if I do. There are people who create success for themselves. There are people who have money in the bank. There are people who have financial wealth, financial abundance, and they are miserable. No matter how much money they have, they do terrible shit to other human beings. No matter how much money they have, they still feel sad. They still feel depressed. They still feel unsafe. Make that money. Don't let it make you. The clothes and the cars and the homes and the accolades, the respect, they don't make you. They're not going to make you happy. They're not going to make you feel satisfied with yourself. They're not going to make you feel like you're good enough. It's the soul that needs the surgery. It's the internal world that has to be shifted. It's you in your own mind who has to create an experience of safety and security, rest and relaxation. It is you in your own mind that has to create an experience of feeling abundant, feeling supported, feeling like there's more than enough for you, feeling like things always work out for you, feeling like God has your back. Feeling self-trust, feeling self-respect. Because your mindset and how you have trained yourself to focus will follow you wherever you go. So you could say, fuck this job, I'm leaving. And you can go to a new job and you're going to have a negative experience at that job. Because you're still, with your focus, with your mind, with your thoughts, with how you have trained yourself, you're still focusing on everything that's going wrong. You will find something to complain about. I am sure that we all know that person. We all know at least one person in our lives who always has something to complain about. There's always something going wrong. Oh, this is such a good example. It's a good example. Okay, I'll give it. I was in Georgia and I was living with one of my cousins. And she was miserable. She was a miserable person. She was living in this home, which at the time, let's say it was like $500,000 townhome in Georgia. Really nice, gated community. I loved living there. She is surrounded by abundance. And she walks into her townhome and, this is my first time being there. And I'm not in love with her kitchen, but it's a nice, beautiful kitchen, right? So she's got these like dark, deep wooden cabinets, beautiful light fixtures, let's say granite countertops. I don't know what material the countertops were, but it's nice. It's a nice home. It's spacious. It's 3 stories. It's great. She walks into this beautiful home and she goes, look at all of this mess. She walks into this beautiful home and she's putting away dishes or whatever. Look at how they scratched up this pan. Because they have no respect for anything of mine. Da 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 da. My son's baby mama is a terrible person who has no respect. Look at how she ruined this. Da 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 da. This was like my first time being there. And I was like, okay, clean up after yourself or this bitch will go crazy. Got it. And it was nice because I'm actually a much cleaner person today because I had that experience, because I was so obsessed with making sure that I was clean so that this lady did not go off on me. But as a consequence of that experience, I realized you do feel better. Your space feels more elevated when it's clean. So now cleaning is a part of who I am and how I live. I wouldn't consider myself to be a neat freak, but I like to feel good and I feel better when my space is clean. So I clean, period. Anyway, there was so much abundance in her home. I remember she had left. So I was there for a couple weeks, maybe even like a month by myself in the townhome. And that was just a great time. It wasn't a perfect time because I was going through a lot of stuff financially with growth and expansion, wasn't making any money, was freaking out. Yeah, that was going on. But I was having a great time in that home because you go into the house, and because she was gone and out of town, I was staying in her bedroom, which is like the primary bedroom. And she has this wonderful television, and the television is hooked up to Alexa. So when you want to watch something, you're like, Alexa, play New Girl on Hulu. And then New Girl is playing, and it's just this fun time. And she was not enjoying her home like that. She wasn't relishing in the beauty of her home. She was focused on everything that was wrong, everything that was unsatisfactory, whether it was in her business or in her relationships, whatever. And I remember one time we went to Papa Do's, which I've only been to. Well, I had only been to Papa Do's in Arizona, which I loved when I was a kid and we lived there. So we went to Papa Do's in Georgia, and we're getting like all of our food and everything. And, you know, there's something wrong with her food. Her avocado dip is not hot enough. So then she sends her avocado dip back. There's nothing wrong with being unsatisfied with your food and sending it back if it's just not good. I'm not saying that I'm above that or whatever. But she, it's not hot enough. So then she sends it back, and then they bring it out again. It's not hot enough again. I don't know if she sent it back twice, but I know at some point she was just like, oh, fuck it. It's not hot enough. You guys aren't doing a good enough job. Like, whatever. We'll just have a shitty experience. Now, was the service the greatest service that I've ever experienced in my life? No. But did I have a good time while I was there? Yes, I did. And was my food good? Yes, it was. We were two people at the same exact restaurant having two completely different experiences. She's having an experience where she is unsatisfied, unhappy, nothing is right, nothing is to her liking, nothing is good enough. I'm having an experience where I'm having a good time. The food is pretty good. Great. It's fucking Papa Do's. Like, it's not a Michelin star restaurant. Like, it's fucking good. Like, what else are we gonna say about it? We were at the same place, but we had two different mindsets. We were living in the same home, but we had two different mindsets. So we had two different experiences. When I was living in the home by myself, I'm waking up every single morning and smoke cleansing the house. I'm lighting incense. I'm meditating. The energy was so high vibe of that freaking townhome. It was so great. And then she comes back from vacation and the whole entire vibe plummets. Like, it was crazy how drastically the vibration in the house plummeted. Why? because of her mindset, because of how she uses her focus, because of how she thinks. They're teaching you to focus on the shit that you enjoy and focus on being happy and creating an experience of being happy now, because it does not matter what you receive, what you acquire, how much money you make. You will take your mindset with you. However you are training yourself to focus, it will go with you wherever you go. So if you can be in a shitty experience, like for me, living in Bakersfield, Central California, when I was a teenager, I absolutely hated it here because, you know, I wanted to be where I had grown up and where I planned on graduating from, all that good stuff. So I wasn't having a great time. I hated it here. There's nothing to do here. Worst place on earth, right? Boo, throwing tomatoes. I came back from college in New York, which I love the city. I came back from college in New York and I felt devastated. I can't be happy here. I can't be happy here like I was happy in New York. How could you be unhappy in New York City with the fucking architecture alone? Like, be serious. I can't have that here. There's no beautiful buildings. There's no subway. There's no daily commute for me to listen to my music and have a good time. I can't enjoy my life here. There's nothing for me here. There's nothing for me to do here. I spent so much time trying to get out of Bakersfield, trying to run away from Bakersfield. And as I worked on my mindset, I wasn't doing it intentionally either. But as I continued to do this work, my own mindset work, training my thoughts and my focus, feeling more worthy, feeling better about myself, I started to create a different experience in Bakersfield. I'm in the same house. At some point, it occurred to me, I have this incredibly beautiful pool in the backyard. That's so fun. I have birds. Oh my God. The bird life in my neighborhood is fucking ridiculous. We used to have a bush in the backyard, which I'm so sad, devastated that it's gone. But we had a bush in the backyard, and hummingbirds would come and bees would come and butterflies would come. And when the butterflies were migrating and all of that, they would come. Like, it was just a beautiful experience. I remember there was a year, it was a spring of what? I think it was 2022. No, I don't think it was 2022. I think it was 2021. I think it was the spring of 2021 where I didn't really have shit else to do. So I observed the life cycle of the birds of our neighborhood. Because one day I was doing something and I saw these birds making love. Which is such an awkward thing to say because you're like, I feel like you guys need your privacy, so I'm gonna look away. Like, oh my goodness. So I saw that happening. So I observed an entire experience of the birds getting together, the birds mating, the birds becoming like pregnant with their eggs. Oh my God, it was so beautiful. I saw the birds making nests. We have a couple birds who make a couple nests in the trees near the house, under our roof, kind of, sort of, but not really. I don't feel like explaining it, but it was just bird nests everywhere, right? So we got to see them making the nest, and then they hatched the eggs, and then you could hear the little tweet, tweet, tweets when the little baby birds are born. And if they're making the nests in the trees by like the grass area of the backyard, then when you're walking in the grass, you can see little eggshells because the birds have, popped out of the shells and all that stuff. And then you can see the mama birds come down into the grass and, hunt for worms and shit to feed their babies. And it's just the circle of life. And yes, the fucking Lion King song is playing in my head. Just incredibly beautiful. I had an experience when I was 16, 17, 18, 15, where I fucking hated it here. Nothing good ever happens here. And then years later, as my mindset changed, I'm like, our house is very aesthetically pleasing. Our home is beautiful. And our pool is fabulous. And we have these amazing birds. This amazing wildlife. And then over the years, I started going on more walks when I was in different places. And then I started going on walks here at this house and developing relationships with my neighbors and taking trips to the park and meeting different people and meeting our crossing guard for a local school that's near my home, and just developing these relationships and finding so much beauty where I previously felt like there was none. So whether I'm in Bakersfield, or I'm in New York City, or I'm in Miami, or I'm in Japan, I'm going to be someone who experiences magical, miraculous shit. I'm very excited to go on an African safari because I'm a vibrational match to seeing some really cool, amazing fucking wildlife shit. I really want to go gorilla trekking in Rwanda. Really bad. Really very badly. It's a must. I am a vibrational match for seeing some really cool, amazing shit. Because I have, as a consequence of doing this work, this mindset healing work, I have trained my focus to focus on things that I like, to focus on things that I enjoy, to focus on things that are going right, to focus on things that are going well. I feel better here, and I've primed myself. I have prepared myself so that when I do move into the home of my desire, that I can have a good time in that home instead of focusing on shit that I don't like. If you're not shifting your vibration, if you're not shifting your energy, if you're not shifting your focus, then you might get the car, you might get the shoes, but you're going to get the car that has the defect in it. You're going to get the car that has the one little thing that's a little bit off. It's not 100% perfect. You're going to get the shoes where, I don't know why, but there's a missing rhinestone right here in the middle. Then you have that feeling of, why does this shit keep happening to me? And it's how you're using your focus. So they're not telling you to be happy where you are right here and right now because they want you to look at your shitty situation and they want you to be glad that you're having a shitty experience. They're telling you to be happy where you are right here and right now. They're telling you to search for shit that you can be grateful for because you're priming your mind. You're preparing your mind for when you get that really good shit so that you can enjoy it. And you'll attract it quicker by focusing on what you're grateful for, by focusing on what you're loving, by focusing on what you're enjoying, by focusing on how far you've come. You want to progress farther in your career. You want to progress farther in your work. You want to progress farther in your business. Keep track of all of the ways that you've been progressing, the skills you've been developing, the mindset shifts you've been experiencing. I've got an epiphany tracker. I made it for the Next Level Mindset mentorship, ladies. I'll give you a free link. I'm working on a vault right now. And because I've mentioned it in this episode, and I want this episode to go out as soon as possible, by the time you are hearing this, the vault will be live. You can check, you can grab it, or you can gain access to it using the link in the description to grab that epiphany tracker. But it's just being mindful of the ways that you're shifting, of the ways that you're growing and expanding, of the ways that abundance is coming in, of the ways that money is coming in, of the ways that you are experiencing progress. And as you focus on how you're experiencing progress, you're going to feel better. You're going to attract more progress. You're going to attract even better feelings. You want to feel good where you are, because no matter what you achieve, you're going to take your mindset with you. So deliberately take the time to create a mindset, to create a pattern, a habit of thoughts that support you in feeling good, that support you in experiencing appreciation, that support you in being happy to be alive, that support you in feeling supported. Okay? That's really good stuff. And if you're listening to this episode and you're like, okay, I want more, I want to take more concrete action steps, not in a hyper-masculine way, but I want to get my mindset on track, then I would highly recommend that you check out the Receiver's Mindset course. Inside of this amazing course, there's 3 modules plus 2 bonus trainings. You're going to learn how to change your mind. You're going to learn how to prime your mind. Literally, in module 1, you're getting my 7-step repeatable process for receiving right here and right now. And within that process, you're going to learn how to practice shifting your energy and developing supportive beliefs from moment to moment, so that that process of priming your mind can be easier and more simple. Inside of that 7-step process, you're going to learn how I shift and release the unsupportive thoughts, the unsupportive patterns, right? Because you have a pattern of behavior of focusing on everything that's going wrong. You have a pattern of behavior of focusing on how things aren't working out for you. You have a pattern of behavior of focusing on how you're not good enough. So not only are you going to want to think differently, but you're going to want to release all of those beliefs. You're going to want to release all of those stories. You're going to want to release all of the experiences that you have had in the past that resulted in you telling those stories about who you are, what you get to have, and who you get to be in the world, what you get to receive from the world. So you'll get that 7-step process. You'll also learn in module 1 how to create an internal sense of safety and security. And that's a really important one, especially because if you're an entrepreneur, you're growing and expanding your business, your money and your finances, a lot of the times you're wanting to create more safety and security. And of course, you're learning throughout the entire program how I create that internal experience. We talked about it a little bit in this video. Inside of the course, you get more detail. Inside of the course, you get more concrete steps and processes that you can follow. You get worksheets, you get journal prompts. It's amazing. So I would highly recommend checking it out. You can head to the link in the show notes or the description if you're listening on YouTube, and you'll learn exactly what is inside of the course, inside of all of the modules and the bonuses. Also, if you want an even more streamlined process where you want my personal feedback, my personal attention, my personal support, you can now book a session with me, and the link to book that session will be in the description box or show notes as well. I love you so much, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Thanks for listening to today's episode. If you laughed, learned something new, or just loved the time we spent together today, please leave a review of the podcast so that it's easier for the other Mirandas of the world to find it too. And if you want to connect with me between episodes, I highly suggest joining our free Facebook group using the link in the show notes. Love you lots, and I'll see you in the next episode.